right? Now that was melody. That was melody. Now we're going to go over to page 108. So in your packet, you should have gotten 14, 15, 16, and then 108, 109, 110. So let's go to page 108 now. All right. Now, I told you at some point in the time that I've known you that not everything in the world starts and ends on do. So now we've seen that demonstrated in our packet. Did you also know that not everything in the world starts on beat 1? I think I've given you the example of Happy Birthday where, Happy Birthday is in 3 and it goes 1, 2, Happy Birthday. So it starts on beat 3. 1, 2, Happy Birthday. And the birth of birthday is on beat 1 of the measure. All right? So not everything in the world starts on beat 1 either. Things don't start and end on do, and things don't start and end on beat 1 either. And you know what? This page of our packet, page 108, is going to demonstrate that for us. Oh my goodness, hang on. All right, so we have already learned about eighth notes and eighth rests. We've gotten all the way down to 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. So the last time we did a packet, we were dealing with eighth notes and eighth rests. We are still dealing with those. But now the new issue is that things don't necessarily start on the first beat of the measure. So let's take, for example, number 1 on page 108. Number 1 on page 108 is in the time signature of 3/4, right? Now, at the very beginning, I see a quarter note, and then I see a bar line. So that is not a full measure, is it? So how many beats does that quarter note get? It gets 1. So how many beats before beat 1 are we going to have to start? 1. So if I'm counting in the time signature of 3/4, and I want to start 1 beat before beat 1, then I need to start on beat 3. Did you figure that out before I said it? Beat 3. So I'm going to have to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And to start this, I'm going to have to start on beat 3. Yeah? So I'm going to count and clap, and I'm going to do the rests and everything like that. And you go along with me and see how well you do, all right? We could really, really have a swell time. Here comes number 1. I'm going to count a full measure and then the next part of the measure before we come in, all right? So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and... Now, did you notice? At the end, that is also not a complete measure. 1 and 2 and... Where did the 3 end go? It was borrowed from there to go at the beginning. So, in order to keep music symmetrical, what happens is when you start with a pickup, when you start before beat 1, what will usually happen is that at the end of the phrase will end that many beats early, all right? So this thing at the beginning, this is called either an upbeat or a pickup, and some highly technical musicians will call it an anacrusis. So if I ever say to you, let's start at the anacrusis prior to measure 31 or something, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Impress your friends. Anacrusis. But more casually, it's known as a pickup. So most people will say, let's do the pickup to measure 25 or whatever. And that means you start at measure 25, but you start before, all right, at whatever leads in to measure 25. All right? Number 2. Number 2 is in the time signature of 2/4, right? 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now, how many beats before beat 1 does it start? Figure it out yet? If you said half a beat, you would be right, because that is an eighth note. So you're going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. You're going to start on the and of 2. Make sense? So I'm going to clap this out for you. I'm going to give you the full measure, and then I'm going to give you the partial measure, and then I'm going to go. All right? 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2. And there is no and at the end, because that and was borrowed and put up front. Whoa. All right, I'm going to do number 3 for you, and then this video will be done. And anybody who feels so brave as to try any other exercise on this page and send it to me, I will be most impressed with you. All right, here comes number 3. We're in the time signature of 4/4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, how far before 1 do we start? Well, I see 3/8 notes. 3/8 notes would be, so if I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm going to go back 3 of those. And 4 and. So I'm going to have to start 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm starting on the and of 3 in this one. Tricky. Tricky. Can you do it? I think you can. I'm going to count it off. 1 full measure, and then the partial one, and then we're all going to clap it and rest it and everything like that together. Ready? Here's the full measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3. It ends with an eighth rest, so that's just 3. The and 4 and is at the front. Get it? Now, if you mess that up or got frustrated and quit, send this video back a minute or 45 seconds or whatever and try it again, okay? So you can improve your skills with a little repetition, all right? Don't just do it, try it once, mess it up, and throw it on the floor and say, forget it. Go back and try it again, because you can do this. I know you can. All right? So there are the first 3 exercises on pages 14 and 108. Try them with me as many times as necessary on this video, and then go back and try one yourself. Try one of each and send it to me. And let me hear your good work. And all good attempts will get full credit. All right? Hey, have fun with this, and I'll see you next time.